Hi, Nathan.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin.
My name is Johanna.
My name is Elia.
I'm Caroline.
I'm Hans, and we're the local Optimist.
So chances are all of us have smartphones, and throughout the day we're getting notifications like this one, or this one, or this one. All of these are actually screenshots from Kate Shepard's phone from the last week. And what they have in common is that they're all headlines that are pretty violent, kind of scary, and overwhelmingly negative. Kate, how does it make you feel to get these news alerts?
Anxious and terrified of my new community.
Fair.
And Kate is not alone. Chances are many of you have experienced this overwhelming amount of negative news notifications on your phone. And unfortunately, many Chapel Hill residents have expressed dissatisfaction with these negative news. We conducted our own survey and found that 51% of the respondents said that the news made them have negative feelings. When we asked them how they felt after reading the news, many people said they felt disappointed, upset, depressed, and anxious. So based on this information, we have identified that one problem that Chapel Hill news consumers are experiencing is an overexposure to negative news. There is a need to have more positive Chapel Hill news that can inspire its readers and connect them to their community.
Our solution is the Local Optimist, your source for positive, hyperlocal good news. We are a multimedia digital storyteller for local positive news. We're focusing on all the good going on right next door to engage people with their communities and the world around them. Our site will feature articles, videos, pictures, and more. Our platforms include a website where you can view all current and archived content as well as submit story ideas, a newsletter so you can get positive news straight into your inbox weekly, and an Instagram so you can meet some of the wonderful people living in your community. Like Zach. I talked to Zach last week and he said, I'm on my way to meet her parents. I'm hoping to bribe them into liking me with wine.
So who are we trying to engage? Orange County. Orange County has a population of over 100,000 people over the age of 20 and up. And these people have a high level of education and subscribe to their local news, such as the News and Observer and the Daily Tar Heel. By our first year, we hope to have at least 5,000 people subscribe to us. These are our competitors. What gives us an edge over our competition is that we have a unique focus on hyperlocal good news. We are the only news outlet that solely reports on positive news. We are nonpartisan, lighthearted, and fresh, and we give you a break from the news cycle. We also have more engaging multimedia content, such as videos and GIFs.
So we plan on reaching a broader audience through digital advertising on Facebook. We also plan on partnering with local newspapers like the Daily Tar Heel and the News and Observer, and possibly publishing one of our stories on their platform. We also plan on partnering with social media influencers to get our name out there on social media. And then finally, we will sponsor an event in the community where we can honor people who are doing great things.
Our business model combines 4 different sources of revenue. This includes advertising, selling branded stickers, shirts, and tote bags, selling demographic user information, and collecting donations from our community. Our largest source of income is advertising. We offer local businesses a platform to share their uplifting news stories and events through our sponsored stories, such as this one we wrote about the honeysuckle treehouse, and our online calendar where businesses can share their upcoming events.
So based on these different sources of revenue and the cost of operation, we project that we'll be able to break even a little bit after year 1, and these are our projected numbers for the first 3 years of the Local Optimist.
So looking forward, after we launch our Chapel Hill sites, we hope to drum up interest with partnering with some of the other publication outlets in the community, like Daily Tar Heel, and see if we can get a Local Optimist feature in that. Moving forward, we hope to expand to some of the other communities in North Carolina. So we hope to be in Raleigh by 2020, Wilmington by 2022, and Greensboro by 2024. We hope you feel as optimistic about our brand as we do, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll start. Just to broaden your view, I know this is an Orange County-based institution here, but broaden your view out of Chapel Hill, because I think everyone here is depressed because of the last election. So no matter what news they're going to get, they're going to be depressed. And then the other bit of it is, like all the other major news media outlets, they sell a lot of advertising because people use it. And then people use it because, I mean, basically the mantra for right or wrong is if it bleeds, it leads, right? And so I think there are some of these more major national news outlets that, I say news outlets, but you know, the pure digital plays that focus on purely positive news that are all over Facebook. They've been able to do what they do because they have massive scale, right? They have a lot of people. And so I think for you guys, the takeaway here is that starting small is certainly the right thing. And I see year one cost is like 80 grand. I think I should be like 10 grand because you used to be starting with email and curating the content. If you can curate that and grow your email list to 5% of Orange County, 10%, then like that's success.
I would agree with that. Like, to grow it fast is going to be difficult. I don't think it's a bad idea to be optimistic. I think that's the most encouraging part of your story. I run a local media magazine in Durham, and I frequently tell people we're not the ambulance chasers because there's plenty of people out there who are very interested in every accident. And we get a lot of positive feedback about that, just the way you got a laugh and Kate said, yes, I want to hear more positive stuff. But what you have to think about is what's unique or how is it valuable. Like when I saw the Honeysuckle Tea House, I was like, oh, cool. But then you said it was actually an advertisement. So how are you going to differentiate between the advertisements and what are the unique stories that are you going to tell? Like, where are you going to get them? Why is it unique? Kid on Instagram looks interesting, but that also sort of looks like my friend's Instagram buying wine for their parents. So where is it news? And I think that's where, like, a little more ruminating about, like, what's the news? Part of this is cool that it's optimistic. That's fine. I guarantee you there's a ton of good stuff that the city council is doing, that the schools are doing. You could follow, you know, some local kids' rainbow soccer league games, talk to the parents, and there'll be some positivity there that's fun to publish. But you need to pitch some, like, real, like, this is a good story, that's a good story. Maybe even look at, like, PBS as a different kind of model, or whatever NPR does. You know, I know there's tons of negative news there too, but there's some positive stuff on those things.
That's our main focus, is to try to, you know, not only just do profiles of people, but to kind of go into the community and see who are making positive change, who are change makers, and kind of, you know, put them in the spotlight and show that, yes, we are doing, you know, we have great people in our community.
Yeah.
To try to get people, you know, engaged in the community, you know, make people like Kate, who are getting notifications that are very scary, you know, make them, you know, happier to live where they live.
So in the way that you did that fake negative headlines, could you do a slide that does fake positive headlines? You don't have to actually talk to all those people, right?
This is true. Sadly, those were real headlines.
Right, exactly. I know you have to think of them, but hopefully you'll eventually talk to that many people if you're going to get that many subscribers. You know, I mean, there's farmers, there's the Piedmont Farm Tour, there's people working in hunger shelters and homeless shelters, and like, there's a lot of positivity out there. And even if you don't get a chance to talk to all of them, for your pitch, you want to throw that sort of like, look at all this positive news we could find.
Right, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Question. Talk to me about your expansion plan, 2 years on this, 2 years on the next year. Why that rate? Why that timeline?
Well, we've definitely thought most about the first 3 years within, like, growing our audience within Orange County and how that would work and what we want to do in terms of building our team and students who could work on this project. And then we were thinking more like big picture, long term with expanding to other cities. So I think that's why we use years like 2022. That's just further into the big picture.
Yeah. So basically our main focus right now is Chapel Hill, building a really strong model here, and we're using a lot of student interns, which will get credit. And so we want to make sure that that model is really strong, and so then expanding to other college towns where there are potentially students who are interested in getting involved in a program like that. But those are not firm dates because obviously we want to get this going first.
You mentioned reaching or using social media influencers as one of your marketing strategies. Who in Orange County is an influencer?
One who goes to UNC, her name's Morgan Gates. I think that her rates for a post are somewhere between $100 and $200, but she has, 50,000 followers, something like that, on her Instagram alone. There are also some other famous YouTubers who are students here who we think that it wouldn't be too hard to encourage them to share our content because it might already be an inspiring story about someone at their school anyway, so they might be excited to share it.
So is the target market just students, or are you trying to reach the broader community as a whole? Because what I'm hearing is student influencers. How are you going to reach the middle-aged guys like myself.
Good point.
We'll also potentially talking to politicians and people who are kind of household names in the community, like maybe Pam Heminger would be able to spread this message because we do feel like it's a strong message and an important one to share. And so getting other people who are interested in drumming up positive news in the community who are well known could be another way to do that.
Also.
What's the balance between generating your own content and cherry picking stuff out of the elementary school newsletter, et cetera, the positive news that's already out and about floating around?
Yeah, so we will have, on our website, we will have our content, and then we will also, we hope to have a feed of other curated content from other people. Mostly it's stories written by us, and then we, of course, want to spread other positive things that are happening, and not just, because in some ways we don't even view the other sites like that as competition so much as complementing us, and we feel like we can work together to further this message. So as far as balance, our sites will be primarily us, obviously, but also sharing the word about other things happening.
We hope to partner with these local news outlets, and get their stories out too that are positive.
And we'll have a calendar on our website showing local events and community events and things like that, things like that are happening that people might want to go to, and stuff like
The
that.
calendar is super popular, well organized, so worth it.
Yeah, there's not that many great resources like that in Chapel Hill. So.
Yeah, most of the ones the government or like the Department of Visitors Bureaus and whoever, terrible.
Very
not
outdated.
over
Yeah,
at all.
yeah. Most students I know use Facebook, and I think a lot of the older generation doesn't get events like that.
Right.
So I think that could be a good joining.
Yeah, it's an important way to think about yourself as a differentiator, right? Old guys want calendars, young people want calendars, everybody wants it to be efficient.
Yeah.
Can you expand a little bit on the events that you said you hold?
Yeah, so one of our ideas is to have sort of like a community event maybe every year where we feature some of the people that we've written about that are doing like really good things in the community, and we could have maybe a lunch or a dinner where all these people can come together and we can like talk about what they've done and just have a moment where, you know, we can just bring everyone together.
Yeah, potentially some kind of fundraiser with the panel of people who are doing interesting things like that. Would be a really good idea.
I feel like more and more my organization and also even like the News and Observer have moved into doing community events, even on like a monthly basis, just to give people kind of that, coming back to that feeling of that community that we've felt like we've lost.
Exactly, and that's our primary goal with it, is just engaging community.
You could even have like awards, I guess, for like the top positive local contributors, I guess.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the ideas of having the event is maybe like picking out maybe like 5 or 10 people who like really stood out that year, like having that night.
And those make money too because of sponsorship.
Yeah.
Indie Week, or they have something similar to that where they have Best of Scarborough, Best of Chapel Hill. They give you awards, and then businesses actually display their awards on their windows so you can tell that, yes, we have been awarded by Indie Week. So,
Any concern about the moral hazard of all of that with the advertising and the content being tied together like that, given what just happened in the last election?
Well, you also had one of the slides said you're going to be selling user data.
Yeah, that sounded a little sketchy, right? You just did gloss over that, but you're right. I thought that was good.
we would give them the option to, hey, do you want, can we use your data and give them to local businesses so that they could advertise events to you, and they could get emails on that. But they can opt out of it. It's not like we're gonna sell everybody's data.
And what about that part where the content and the advertising, giving awards to people who you're writing about, like?
Yeah, I think part of that we would be having a strong curating position. Like, we're not gonna write an article about BP and be like, yeah, look at all the great things they're doing. I think they would have to prove to us that they were deserving of this. We're not gonna be sold out to somebody just because they're willing to pay. So definitely, I think we would have some power over who we're giving content to.
They would have to align with our values.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.